Hello and welcome to BBC Parliament's coverage of election 2010. This morning, party leader Nick Clegg visited Maldith Road Primary School in Manchester and took questions from pupils.
Thank you everybody, and thank you for coming and having an opportunity to speak to Nick and to ask him some questions. I think this is the third time I've been at this school, and it's great to be back with you. But it's really great to have the opportunity to bring our leader, Nick Clegg, to come and speak to you and answer some of your questions this morning. Now, some of you might know that later on today there's going to be a debate between Nick and the other two main party leaders. And we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to get some practice in if he took some really, really tough questions from some of the kids from Maldith Road Primary School. So I hope you're going to be able to come up with some really, really difficult questions that you can ask him, and then you'll have a great amount of practice before the meeting.
Graffiti on doors, that kind of stuff, I hope at least. It's really important that they should have to explain to people what they've done. They should apologise for what they've done. And then they should make up for the damage they've done. So they should, I don't know, let's imagine, I don't know, someone has graffitied your mum's and dad's front door, yeah? I would want that youngster, that yob who's causing a lot of antisocial behaviour in your street, in your community, to come to your mum and dad and say, I'm really sorry I've done this, and then together, they've got to decide how that boy or girl maybe cleans the streets or cleans the park, or paints the railings in your neighbourhood, to make sure that they really know that they're causing a lot of damage and they're making people feel very frightened. And I think if you do that, if you confront people, if you make people face up for what they've done wrong, then often it makes them change their behaviour. It's something, I come from a city, Sheffield, not too far away from here, the other side of the Pennines, and we're doing this now, and it's having a big effect on stopping young people, I mean older than you, but still young, who are getting into trouble now from becoming the really nasty criminals of the future, and that's what I want to stop. Have you or your mum and dad or your family had any problems with antisocial behaviour?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Okay. Maybe. All right. Yeah.
How will you help the environment?
Well, I think there are lots of different ways we can help the environment. Obviously, we've all got to play our own bit, don't we? I mean, I think. Do you recycle at home a bit? Yeah. You change your light bulbs?
Yeah.
Have you? Have you decided to do that, or did your mum and dad do that?
I told my mum and dad.
You told your mum. Exactly. That's exactly what happened with my 8-year-old. Tells me that. Tells me what we need to do. So I think that's what you can do in the home. But there are lots of other things we can do as a country, can't we? We can make sure that people drive less when they don't really need to drive, so that we make sure that there are buses and trains and good public transport alternatives, because everybody jumping in and out of their cars is no good for the environment. I think for aeroplanes that are flying overhead, belching out lots of bad gases for the environment, if they're basically empty, we should encourage them to make sure that they only fly. So we're going to change the way in which aeroplanes, when they're full of people, not just belching out all these gases for no obvious reason. And I'll tell you something else I think we could do. I don't know how old this building is here, but lots and lots of the buildings we've got, whether the houses we live in or the schools that we go to, or the hospitals we go to, aren't very well insulated. That means that all the heat goes straight out of the windows or out of the roof of the buildings. I think about 27% of all carbon dioxide emissions, you'll know from your own classes, that's the really bad gas, straight out of our buildings. So I think it's quite a lot of money, but it's not as much money as the government wants to spend on other things, like helping out greedy bankers. We could insulate buildings like this to make sure that it costs less to heat them, and we don't burn so much energy, which is bad for the environment, to keep you warm in the first place. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Why do you want to make the classrooms smaller and separate friends?
I don't want to separate friends. I don't want to separate friends. I just no. What I want to do is make sure that every one of you. You're in years 5 and 6. Is that right? So what? You're all 10 and 11, are you? Yeah. Well, I just think I guess some of you are better at maths than others, and some of you are better at English than others, and some of you like geography more than others. Some of you might enjoy doing your homework, and others, you may not really do your homework when you need to do it. Because we're all different, aren't we? That's the great thing. We're all different. And I think that it's easier to make sure that everybody gets the gets out of their time at school what they need by making sure that classes are a bit smaller and that there is more time to have, so that you have more time, one-to-one time with your teacher, maybe also evening classes, maybe Saturday morning classes, so that everybody catches up, so the whole class moves together as one. It's precisely because I don't want people to fall apart that I think if we make sure there's more money coming to schools like this and all schools in the country, to make sure there is more time for you, yourself, to have with teachers and in smaller groups, that you can make sure that everybody is educated together. Someone at the back. Yep.
Are you nervous about tonight's TV debate?
I can't hear you. So
Are you nervous about tonight's TV debate?
I'm a little bit, yeah. That's why I've come here for a bit of practice. I'm a little bit nervous, but also quite excited because it's never happened before. It's never happened before, so I think it's quite a big kind of opportunity for people to sit at home and... Are you going to watch it? Are you? Who's not going to watch it? Who is going to watch it? Hooray! Excellent. Well, it'll go on to 10 o'clock. Hang on, isn't that past your bedtime? No, okay. Really? Do you all go to bed at 10? No. It's just today, it's an exception. All right, very good. And I hope you enjoy it. I mean, I'd love to, I don't think I can, but I'd love to come back tomorrow and see what you think. But the whole idea is to give you, well, I think you're a little bit too young to vote, but to give people who are going to be asked to vote on May the 6th, to give them the opportunity to have a good look at what myself and David Cameron and Gordon Brown are saying, and what changes we want to make on education or on the environment or antisocial behaviour, so that people then feel they've got more information and maybe they feel a bit more motivated to vote. Right, yep.
How have you prepared for the debate tonight?
How have I prepared? Well, I've been thinking about some of the questions that might come up, like some of the questions you've already asked me today on education and environment and antisocial behaviour and things like that. I've asked a couple of friends of mine to pretend that they're David Cameron and Gordon Brown. So we sort of do a sort of, we do a sort of pretend thing. But since we're quite old friends, we spent most of our time sort of having a bit of a laugh rather than really doing it as seriously as we should have done. But I tell you what, I don't think these things are things that you can prepare for that much. I mean, if you spend too much time preparing, you don't enjoy it. And what I really want to try and do is enjoy it. And I'll particularly enjoy it now that I know you're all going to be watching well beyond your bedtime. Right.